And today, of course, I'm going to talk on aromatherapy, since nobody knows about aromatherapy and how I got into this business. And so to start off with, let me just tell you a little bit about myself. My name, of course, is Blossom Kochhar. Now, how did I get the name Blossom? That's very interesting. It didn't happen because I got it after my business or anything. My parents are coffee planters. My father's a coffee planter. And of course, they wait for the blossom for the coffee. So that is how I got the name of Blossom. Little knowing that this name is really going to resonate and give me a business that really is going to help me with the whole thing with aromatherapy. Like I always say, there is a lot of, in a name, there's a lot of divine which we don't understand, and then suddenly it comes out. So when we choose a name, it is really very, very important. And of course, so being in the coffee plantations, I grew up with the flora, the fauna, the greenery, the wonderful nature, and it was really wonderful. And even when I studied at, Nazareth Convent, Uttakamand. So there again, it was full nature and flowers. And as I was growing up, I know when I got sick, my parents never used any medicine. It was eucalyptus for a cold, and the nuns used to use this lavender and verbena for when we were very stressed out before the exam. So I've been growing up with this whole thing. And of course, when I finished my college, I did arts and I went to Bangalore. But when I finished my college and I asked my parents, I would like to join this line of beauty and hair, because I was very interested. Because for me, a human figure is a work of art. Really, that is my medium of art, in fact. Like I used to take it over the hair, the makeup, the beauty, the skin. So it was all that. And of course, even aromatherapy was very much part of that. So they wouldn't allow it. Of course, it was something disastrous. No way after college. So what I did is I worked I was put into Bangalore in an insurance company, which I didn't like at all. And that's where I found out that if you get into something you have no passion about, you don't like I used to play golf most of the time. And that is really how I met my husband, because I hit him with a golf ball, and I really say thank God for that. And then we got married. And he was the one who really, got me into this whole thing, because when he went to staff college, and that's where I really started my journey. And that is where I always feel that a family is very, very important to help, especially a woman, to take her through her business, very important. You've got to take your family with you, which I tell everybody. And even now when I teach and I educate all the women, I tell them, take your family with you, because this is really something that's going to empower you and empower the whole family around you and help the whole economy, of course, of India. So that's how it went. Now I started over there in a small little place in the club, which was given to me by the club person. And that's where I really started my aromatherapy. And at that time when I started, it was just charmis and, and ponds. I couldn't use that on people to give them facials, so I started making my own creams. And of course, the perfumes, and what I used to use with that, I used to use these essential oils, which is fantastically, it's really available all over the Nilgiris. A lot of it comes from there. And in fact, a lot of our essential oils come from India, and they are exported all over the world. And the most important perfumes, the best perfumes, the aftershaves that you're all using, I think the people who manufacture them and help them, the chemists are from India, and the oils are from India. So that is something that is very wonderful. So I started with this and made it. And what happened was, people used to come back and tell me I used this cream, but my cold was better. Or I used this and, I could sleep better. So I went, and I'm in that journey, I met a Ved over there. He was an Ayurvedic person, and he started getting me into this. And that's where I discovered that aromatherapy was very much a part of the Vedas, the Vedas, which was the Rasayana Tantra, it was called. The Veda has so many books, different things. Now the Rasayana Tantra teaches, helps people, or it tells us about rejuvenation. So that is how I went into the Rasayana Tantra and learning about this. Now, as I was learning, of course, we have three systems. We have the European system, we have the Ayurvedic system, and we have the Chinese system. And as I was going on and learning this, I found aromatherapy was really a fantastic. Of course, I've studied it from all over. I've done a double doctorate in it, and also in alternative therapy. And I've learned that it is something that is really wonderful. It is the most natural product ever, and it is really fantastic for this day and age. So when I wanted to go into cosmetics, I went into with aromatherapy. Now let's tell you a little bit of aromatherapy. Aromatherapy is where we take the pure essential oils of the leaves, the flowers, the roots, the spices, and we use them for treatment in three ways. One is for the mind, so it helps stress, it helps depression, it helps when you're very hyper. The other is for beauty, of course. It's very much good for beauty, like it's for falling hair, it's for dark circles, and the third, of course, it is for any healing thing. But as I've studied, I've also found that it works in three ways. It works on our mind, it works on our body, it works on our emotions. So it's fantastic, and it works in the corporate world, because you can use it, like just say you take geranium. If you're going to sign a very important document and you use geranium for a smell, you will find your mind is going to be fantastic and clear, and you'll make the correct decision. Okay, so geranium is one. The other very good oil that I've come across is basil. The smell of basil really opens your mind, and if you get a mental block at any time, just smell basil. And the beauty of these oils really is that you don't have to ingest them. You just have to, it works through the sense of smell. When you smell something, you get the olfactory bulb, and that goes and it goes into the brain, and it's processed in the limbic system. And the limbic system works on our memory. It works on, that is why when you smell something, you're going to find suddenly it may take you back to your grandparents or something, because memory is really very strong. So it works on your memory, it works on your glands, that we have the pituitary and the hypothalamus, and those glands are very important, and they work on the complete glandular system. So any problem you have, anything, this is going to either help to it helps to balance it out, it'll send the message relax or release. So this is how aromatherapy works. And of course, I wanted to really, when I came into India, and from Canada, my parents, when I went to Canada, I was there that I learned quite a lot of this. And when I wanted to start my business, I started, of course, with aromatherapy, but it had a lot of problems, because firstly, to start with aromatherapy at that time, aromatherapy was not even known, and even now it is not known. So, and to make the drug controllers agree to aromatherapy was something else. But that's where I always say, when you go into any business, you need passion. You have to have passion. You have to take risks, and you have to go on, don't have to give up. Okay, these are the three most important things I feel. And I've known that if you have passion, You may reach a block, but you will go out some other way around it. If I didn't take the risk at that time, I would never have even come up with anything. So risk is an important thing. You have to take a risk. And it's okay if you fail, no problem. You can start again with something else, but let me tell you, you won't fail. Take the risk. And the third thing, of course, is never give up. Because when you give up something, you may be reaching it. I've known so many people, they're going to reach success. It's just 2 steps away. They've suddenly realized, oh, I don't feel I could, and they step back. Never do that. Just go on, and you will reach your success. And this is what happened when I did it. So this is what went on. The banks, of course, at that time wouldn't give me a loan. But I was very determined, so we got the people to agree, we got the banks to give a loan, and I started very small, and that's how I went on with this. And I've learned a lot of lessons in the whole thing and how to do this business. Now, when I had to market, of course, when I first started, it was producing and everything else, and aromatherapy is such. It is part of nature, and you cannot mix any chemicals with it, because it by itself has got a whole lot of chemicals. In fact, 50% of the oils are made of these oils. They are using for treatments in hospitals. They extract certain things and they use it. So you can get cancer drugs, which is there, your diabetes, and all come from these plants. And the beautiful thing about these plants is it goes into your system. When you smell it, it goes in, it doesn't remain there, it comes out in about 12 hours. And if you want, and the molecule of these oils, they're distilled oils, they are very, very tiny, and they can go into, that's how they use so much in the spa, but you can't use any mineral oil, you have to use vegetable oils with it. So they use the vegetable oil, so it can be used in massage, and it can be used in a whole lot of things. So, but apart from that, the passion, the this and the that, you will have to really go into positivity, which is the next thing that you have to go through, because you have to be positive. And that was one thing that was important. And when I had to market the product, once I made it, then I had to market it. Now that was something else for me. Now after COVID, I found that, I found that education, also before COVID, the marketing was done with education. Because I found that unless you educate, they can't really know anything or do anything. So we went about educating the whole group, the whole this, and even till today, we educate everybody on aromatherapy, because education is a must. And now that we've gone, after COVID, we've gone digital, I feel that everyone has to really go and take, leadership in digital, go into digital, because digital is something that is very, very important. We got to adapt. Now, adapt to when COVID came, we found that we have to really adapt our whole education and everything else. And even when we were taking in people, before we used to take them on IQ, EQ, but now we take them on AQ also, adaptability, which is a very, very important thing, because they have to learn how to adapt. And then, apart from that, I went across in business, but I found that, we have to keep ourselves really fit and for everything. So I had a good diet, meditation had to go through, and you had to do yoga. And these were very, very important things that we did. And what really helped me in the whole thing was that, my mind I had to motivate myself, which is very important. And one of the most important ways that came for motivating myself was, of course, before I go to bed, I think of, how was my day, how did it go? And I got a little book, which every day I do a gratitude exercise. So a gratitude exercise is done every day, and that really helps with my thing completely. So this is how I've gone through, and of course, CSR is very, very important, and we give back what we have learned. So my one thing is, like I said, empowering, and especially empowering women all over India. They are very, very important to be empowered, especially, of course, the towns and the cities, they're fine, but once you go into the villages, you will find they do need something. So this is a wonderful line to go into, and we go in there and we don't just teach them how to do things, we teach them how to be their own entrepreneurs whenever they have the time, because they do need to really, they do need to get that feeling of confidence, and they can do it at their own time, and that is how we went through with it. So this is a wonderful thing, and aromatherapy really is something that can be used for the body, for the mind, for the emotions, spiritually, and it works completely. Thank you so much for this.
Blossom, before you go, one question. You started talking about the corporate world, geranium.
Yes.
Basil.
I will give you.
Okay. So let's have some tips before you leave the stage.
I will. Now another is jasmine. Jasmine is wonderful for depression. Jasmine gives you confidence, and I always tell people before they go for an interview or anything, that's any important thing, they need that confidence. Just take a little jasmine and smell it. You'll find that you really get confidence. Rose, of course, helps anxiety, which we've used a lot during this. Rose and orange blossom, that is neroli, which we've used a lot during this season, the COVID season that had just passed. And anyone, a lot of people get these anxiety attacks at any time. You never know when you're going to get it. Just take a little and smell it, or put it in potpourri and keep it on your desk. Now, neroli is also excellent for anger. If you are fast to get angry, or if you have anybody angry in your house, or anybody angry in your office, or you feel angry, just put neroli, which is orange blossom, into this of potpourri and leave it on your desk. You're going to find that you will not get angry. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one? Orange is excellent, which is coming now in the season. And it's even, you can take an orange, you don't need to have the oil, you just take it and smell it, or just this, you will find that that is going to make you feel happy, and that is something that we definitely need. Coffee is the best. It is not for drinking only. You can use it, make it into a little paste and use it as a wonderful scrub, and you'll find as though you're having this wonderful cup of coffee. Okay, thank you so much.